regulatory affairs. Now, students, when they learn in pharmaceutical colleges, they are not aware actually. If I consider in Goa, people are not aware what are the scopes of regulatory affairs or what is basically regulatory affairs in India or in abroad. So most of the students, they go to choose quality assurance or QC or any other department like production, but they are most of the people are not aware of the regulatory affairs. So I just this topic mostly introduce you to basically what is regulatory affairs. So let's see what are the titles or topics I'm going to cover today. That is, what is regulatory affairs, why regulatory affairs is required, and how RA works with examples. So I'm going to take Europe as an example and how the drug is registered in a particular country of Europe. So that these are the topics I'm basically going to cover up in my introduction to regulatory affairs. So let's begin with what is regulatory affairs. So if I just consider regulatory affairs, with the name also you can prescribe it as regulatory means something which is related to law. Now here, in this case, regulatory affairs related to a pharmaceutical company will be always related to drug product. So let's consider a scenario of a court where I can relate a court to how we are going to register a product in a particular country of Europe. So let's see. This is a court scenario where you have applicant as a pharmaceutical company. Secondly, you have lawyer as a RA professional, and you have regulatory authority as a judge. So this is the entire sum up of regulatory affairs. So lawyer, that is your RA professional, is a link between the regulatory authority and a pharmaceutical company who gathers the entire data for registration of a product from the pharmaceutical company and give it to the judge, that is regulatory affairs, who decides whether this product is valuable or benefitable for them, and then only they approves the drug, and then the pharmaceutical company manufacture and market the product for these particular country or this particular area. So the main basic role of a RA professional is to gather the data from the pharmaceutical company according to the guidelines of the authority. So they need to study all the guidelines which are required for to register a product in a particular country. So this is a layman scenario where I can easily explain what is actually regulatory affairs. Let's go further. So the main what is regulatory affairs is a link between a pharmaceutical company and a regulatory authority. RA is responsible for registration of a product in a particular company. RA is responsible for knowing the requirements for obtaining the product approval. If you need approval in a particular country or in a particular continent, what are the requirements, what are the guidelines to be followed to register a product in that particular country is studied by the RA professional. It is involved in every stage of development of a new medicine and post-approval activity of the medicinal product. Thus, it has two parts. So when a novel molecule is manufactured, right from the beginning at R&D level, whatever data is collected till the QC level, the entire data of commercialization, entire dossier is prepared, and that dossier is submitted to the authority. Once we get the approval, after that, how the life cycle is maintained, that is included in your post-submission activities. Entire procedure of post-submission, post-marketing, or getting approval, and till the withdrawal of a product, entire thing is maintained by the RA professional for a particular molecule. Let's see, why do we require, why regulatory affairs is required? That's a question. Why only regulatory affairs? So regulatory affairs is mostly we manufacture the products is because for the development or commercialization. Every pharmaceutical company wants to make money. So they do it because of commercialization. That is one reason. And that is why you require regulatory affairs. Obtaining the regulatory requirements for registration of a particular product. So any layman person cannot go and say, I want to market my product in a particular country. You need to know what are the regulations, what are the guidelines of that particular area, and then only you can market it in that particular country. So the RA professional is the one who knows all the basis for registering a product into a market. The first and foremost important reason is the protection and the safety of human health. So authority always assesses any application on the basis of how it is going to be safe for my people and how we are going to protect them. So that is the main motto of the regulatory authority. So that is the main thing, and the other things comes later. The second best thing is the quality, safety, and efficacy of the product. How much efficacy that product has, what are the qualities, what is the safety, how safe it is to the people. So these are the basic points which are taken into consideration by the authority for registration of a product. So this is why we require regulatory authority. The main point is the protection and safety of human health, the quality, safety, and efficacy of the product. And the secondary reasons are for commercialization reason, development reason, or then lastly comes your registration of the drug product. So in all, regulatory affairs is linked to every other department, that is business development, marketing and sales, QC, production, your finance, your logistics, HR, R&D, preclinical studies, analytical. So this department is basically related to all the other departments. They gather the data and give it to the regulatory agency. So we come in contact with all the other portfolios. So after knowing this, what is regulatory affairs? Why do we require regulatory affairs? Now let's see how regulatory affairs works. So what are the regulations? Now basically the health authority, I have been continuously saying regulatory authority or health authorities. These are the few health authorities which I have listed. One is MHRA, which is for UK. Then we have US FDA, which is very important. Then we have TGA for Australia, we have Canada, we have Infart for Portugal, we have Anvisa for Brazil. There are many more companies, many more authorities in EU, which I have not listed. I could not list all of them. There are many of them. We have in Germany, we have BfArM, and there are many other regulatory agencies. These are the few main agencies only I have listed. Then, now let's start. Let's consider an example of how I'm going to register a particular product in European market. So as we know that we have MHRA in UK, we have US FDA in US, we have TGA in Australia. Likewise, we also have EMA, that is European Medicines Agency, Science Medicines Health in Europe. So total, we have around 27 countries in Europe. It was 28 after the Brexit. The UK got separated from European countries, and now the entire thing of Europe is handled by European Medicinal Agency. So first, let us understand the basic term of generic products. Now, people usually have, we nowadays, we also have generic pharmacies, then they say generic product. Now, what are these, basically, what is it, generic products? So, to take an example of paracetamol. Now, paracetamol has different brand names like Dolo, we have Crocin, we have Ceridon, that also contains paracetamol, but they are in different forms. Now, what is the basic scenario? Initially, when a novel entity is prepared, a novel molecule is prepared, they get the patent right for almost 10 years of marketing exclusivity they get. So once the patent expires after the 10 years, the other companies are open to sell their products. So when that particular novel entity becomes common, it actually becomes the generic product. So other companies, every company, say Sandoz or Novartis or Teva, all these companies, they basically change the formulation or excipients or bulk or the strength of a particular product, and they just sell the product. They make that product as generic. Now, say for example, Dolo. Dolo has 650 mg, Crocin has 500 mg of paracetamol. It's the same active, but the strength differs. So that is basically the generic product. Now, how these products are marketed in Europe, how you can register a product, let's see. Procedures to obtain marketing authorization in Europe. Before understanding how we are going to register a product, let's understand the term marketing authorization as well. Marketing authorization is a term which is used in Europe for getting an approval. So it is like you have the authorization to market a product in particular country of the Europe. So that is what is called as marketing authorization. And the person who holds it to market the product is called as marketing authorization holder. So the first procedure we have is centralized procedure. A marketing authorization granted under the centralized procedure is valid for the entire European market. So this procedure is mostly used for the orphan drugs. The orphan drugs means these are the drugs which are used for rare diseases like we have cancer, we have AIDS. So those medicines are registered mostly through this procedure, that is centralized procedure. Now, what actually happens in centralized procedure? Centralized procedure is when you get authorization of centralized procedure, you can sell your product anywhere in European market. Any market you can choose, you can sell your product anywhere. So this is the most important procedure, that is centralized procedure. You have right to market your product in any of the market of European area. Second one is decentralized procedure. For medicinal products not falling within the mandatory scope of centralized procedure. So this is like you don't have right to sell a product in a particular area. But in this case, what you basically do is you select a country as RMS. RMS means reference member state. You choose a country as RMS depending on some conditions. Like you choose it based on like if I sell my product, what will be the profit? How much profit I'm going to get, and then depending on the slots booking, and there are many other conditions, many other factors which are involved in this. So you select a RMS and you select other CMSs. CMSs is the concerned member state. That is, if you have RMS and you have other, say 4-5 CMSs. RMS, if I select, say Poland, and I will have to select how many countries you want, you can select as a CMS. Like you can select your Portugal, you can select Spain, you can select Sweden, and many more countries. So you have RMS and you have CMS. So now why is RMS required? So RMS in this case is the country which is going to actually assess your evaluation and provide a draft evaluation report and give it to the other CMSs. The CMSs are going to evaluate it, and whatever comments they have, they will give it to the RMS. And by discussing the final decision, by discussing with each other, the final decision is given whether to grant them permission to market the product or not. So once you get the grant, you can sell the products in all your CMSs and your RMS as well. So decentralized procedure is you don't have any right to first market your product, but you select one of the country and you select other CMSs. The next is your mutual recognition procedure, or what we call it as MRP procedure. This procedure is based on the mutual recognition by the concerned member states of a national marketing authorization granted by the reference member state. The concerned member state refers to the reference member state that issues the national marketing authorization on which the mutual recognition procedure is based. So this basically means what? That I'll explain. The thing is, you have a national marketing authorization. So you have a right. You already have a marketing authorization to market a product in a particular country. That is, say, for example, Poland. And you want to expand your markets. So what you do is you consider your Poland as an RMS and you take other CMSs, prepare the draft. It's the same like decentralized procedure. Only difference here is you already have a national authorization to sell your product in one particular market. But in decentralized procedure, you do not have that right. You just select randomly one of the RMS. So in mutual recognition procedure, what you do is you select your national authorized market and you give the draft to CMSs. By their mutual understanding, you get a grant or approval to sell the products in this country. So, and the fourth procedure is your national procedure, where you can sell the product only in one of the market. So these are the basically four procedures which are used to market or register a product in European market. So first, if we consider, we have national, where you can market only in one country. Central, where you can market your product in the entire EU. Third, we have MRP, DCP. MRP is like you already have national, you convert it into MRP and you sell your product. And last one is your decentralized. So these are the four procedures to market your product in Europe. Now, as we have understood what is RA, why RA is required, which are the routes through which you can market your product in Europe. Now let's see the main work of RA, that is dossier preparation. So dossier preparation starts right from the R&D level when one molecule is invented. This molecule at R&D level, you can take an example of paracetamol only. Whatever requirements, that raw material, what is required, what are the formulations, what are the excipients used in that manufacturing of that product. Everything, right from specification, your analytical procedure, your manufacturing procedure, all the things start at the level of R&D. They start preparing. RA starts the new submission application. Whatever requirements are there to file a new submission is studied by the RA department, and that is prepared and kept. Once it goes to the QC level, that is the commercialization level, at that time, the entire dossier is prepared completely and it is given to the regulatory authority. And then the regulatory authority assess it and grant the approval. Now, how we are going to prepare it? What is the basic thing? So as per ICH guidelines, nowadays in US, in Japan, in Europe, in UK, and most of the other countries, they refer to what is called as CTD, that is Electronic Common Technical Document. So this is the format which is used for preparing a dossier. So it has 5 different parts. One is module 1, second one is module 2, third one is module 3, fourth is module 4, and fifth one is module 5. Now, for a pharmaceutical industry, which is manufacturing a generics, is mostly concerned with module 3. And if you are going to manufacture a completely new entity, then you will require module 2, module 4, module 5, including module 1 and module 3 as well. Because since it is a new formulation, everything is new, you have to get all the documents go through. So let's see what is module 1. Now, module 1, as it says, it is regional information. Now, regional information, as the name suggests, it is something which is specific to a region. Now, if I'm taking an example, if I want to submit my product in Poland, one of the European countries, there are some special requirements for Poland. They require letter of authorization, they require declaration, they require POE, they require power of attorney. All these are the documents which are specific to Poland. So that is what is regional information. Besides this, whenever we file any application, we prepare what is called as cover letter. We prepare application forms. We prepare SPCs. These are very important documents, like that is summary of packaging leaflets and summary of all the requirements which are there for safety issues related is SPC. Your pill, what is a MOA of your particular drug, how it acts, what is the toxicology, all that information is written in your SPC, your pill, and your labelings like carton and labels. So all this are included in your module 1. So module 1 basically include your cover letter, application form, SPC, bill and labelings. Along with that, any additional information which you want to give to authority goes into module 1. Next comes module 2. Now, module 2 includes your quality overall summary. Now, quality overall summary is, it's in short, module 3. Module 3 will include your specification, your analytical procedure, your manufacturing procedure, your formulation, your batch formula. All this is included in your module 3. So in short of module 3, the summary of that module 3 goes into your module 2 as QoS. Secondly, you have module 4 that will include your non-clinical data. Module 5 will include your clinical data. And all this, the summary of all this goes into module 2. For a generic product, we mostly don't require that much of clinical data or non-clinical data because it has been already established at the time when the patent is filed. Okay, so for a generic product, it will be only module 1, which is most important, and module 3, that is entire data from a pharmaceutical company. So these are the modules for preparing a dossier. Now, a dossier will have different sections. It will have 32S 2.1, like that is for your drug substance. It will have 32P section is for finished product. And there are different sections for each and every dossier. And the dossier is mostly present in different softwares. Now, softwares we have the most important, which is running up is Viva Vault is the most important. Most of the companies are now asking for Viva Vault software. Other softwares are like Adam. We have Global Insight. We have Global for viewing, Insight for viewing, and there are many softwares which are used nowadays by the companies. But the most important one is Viva Vault. So this software, you have to just feed the data in them, and then you can directly publish all the documents to the authority. So it's everything is done. The regulatory work is done nowadays basically on these softwares. So you don't require the hard copies to submit, make a file and all, and submit it to the authority. So it is basically nowadays it is done via the softwares. So this is the entire dossier, how it looks like. Now, once the dossier is prepared as per CTD, what next? So what next comes is we submit the dossier to the authority. Then we have assessment, which is done by the authority. If they require any documents, they ask us for the documents, then we submit the documents. Comments from the CMSs. The final draft is prepared by RMS and approval is granted and product is marketed. And then it is approved. So what is actually happening? Once I prepare as my dossier as per the CTD, I take that dossier and I give it to the regulatory authority, say for example to EMA. EMA will assess it. First, the validation phase take place where they check whether if any documents is missing or something which they require is not there. Then what they do is they send us a request and then we provide them the documents. Then there are as per the different procedures, the procedure are very much in detail. So which procedure, depending on that, the time requirement takes place. So if I'm choosing MRP over DCP, MRP is the fastest, then DCP. Okay, so that is, you should be able, the RA person should be able to decide which procedure to choose in order to get a faster approval in that particular area. So once that is done, the CMS gives their comments, they prepare the final RMS report, and then approval is granted. And then the product is marketed in that particular market. So you have your approval ready. Now you can sell your product in that particular market. But the work of RA doesn't stop here. Now the actual work starts. So once you get an approval, we have something called as the post-approval activities. After the approval, whatever changes are going to take place, we are the ones who have to maintain the dossier updated as per the regulatory requirement. So what we actually do in post-approval. So post-approval, whatever change takes place, say for example, if there is some change in specification, in the in-process specification, if it has the hardness is changing. So that also I will have to inform the authority regarding this uh, change. So that change in regulatory term, what we call it as variations. So for Europe, there are different types of variations. We have type 1A variation, we have type 1A ion. So what is type 1A variation and type 1A ion variation? These are minor variations. That is, you just do it and tell. So in this case, what happens actually in type 1A? So I'm making some minor editorial change, which is not required. Say, for example, I'm changing a range of IR test from 4,600 it was previously. So I'm changing it to 4,650. So this is type 1A change. So that minor change, I will do it first, and within 12 months, I have to inform authority that this change has been implemented at site. That this time span I have is only 12 months for type 1A. But for type 1A ion, I just have 15 days to notify authority. So within 14 days, I have to submit a variation to the authority saying that I have implemented this change. So our type 1A ion variations are mostly marketing authorization holder when it changes. So I have to immediately inform the authority regarding MEH change. So that is type 1A ion variation. Then next comes is type 1B. It's a minor variation, but here you have to tell authority first, wait for the approval, and then do it. You cannot change your dossier unless the authority informs you to change it. Because here there are slight major changes. That is, say if I already have a UV method for testing and finished product, and I am changing it to HPLC, but that will be type 1B variation. Because we are completely changing the method of testing of a particular product. So then we have to just submit the variation, wait for the approval. Once we get the approval, we can implement the change. That is what is your type 1B. I'm sorry. Type 2 is the major variations where you have to tell the authority. It takes almost 2 months for the approval of type 2. It's hardly 1 month for type 1A, type 1B, and type 1A ion, but it's 2 months for type 1-2 variation because these are the most important variations where actually maybe formulation changes. All these are type 1, type 2 changes when there is a formulation change or something which is related to safety are all type 2 changes. And the urgent safety variations, that's the fourth one, where this is say some adverse effect is occurring like alopecia. It is falling of hair or something like increase in the pressure. These are some urgency variations, like this is related to a human being. It's concerned with the life of a patient. So in that case, we file the urgent safety variations. So we have to file it within 24 hours. So this will give you approval immediately, but you have to file it in 24 hours. So then we have all these four types of different variations, and whatever change takes place, we file them and we update our dossier. So this is what is post-approval activity. Once your post-approval activity is done, what comes next is your time for renewal. So basically, in any European country, you have 5 years of span to renew your license. Okay, so after the 5 years, you get unlimited validity to market the product in European market. But that in some cases, if a product is some anti-cancerous product, a medicine, then in that case, maybe there are some safety issues. In such cases, exceptional cases, what they do is they give you grant for only next 5 years. There is no lifetime validity for such product. But for example, if you are taking for paracetamol or diclofenac and all, you can just take the you will get the lifetime validity after the 5 years renewal. Okay, so you have to start working on the renewal before 9 months, because it requires a lot of documents, many documents you require to file this renewal variation. It's almost like a dossier only you are compiling and submitting it to the authority. So for the renewal, it takes almost 5 years. And after 5 years, it's unlimited validity, with exception of some cases where there are safety issues, where you get another grant of almost 5 years, more for 5 years you get. Okay, so this is how the product life cycle goes. So we have, from the R&D level, we prepare an entire new entity. From there you file a patent. After filing the patent, you have 10 years exclusivity right. From there it becomes generic. After it becoming generic, we take the approval from authority. There are many pharmaceutical companies who take these generic products, and then they try to register in different markets. Once they market it, we file the variation, that is post approval activity starts. After the post approval activity, we have renewal, and the life cycle continues till it is withdrawn from the market of a particular country. So this is all the product life cycle, and RA is responsible for maintaining the life cycle management of any particular product. So we have many products. It's not only one product which we are concerned with. So many products are marketed in different countries of Europe. So we have to maintain all the life cycle management of those medicines. So thank you for um, listening to me very patiently. And this is what I wanted to introduce for you. So hope you like it. If there are any questions, you can ask me. Thank you.